Welcome to class PM. The last class we have studied about the process of irrigation and how to protect the crop from weeds. This class let us learn about harvesting and storage. So first let us begin with harvesting. So we know that after the crop plant is matured, the crop has to be cut. The cutting of crop after its maturation is said to be harvesting. We know generally this harvesting is a process where the crop is been cut after its maturity. So generally when you sow a crop plant like cereals, usually cereals take 3 to 4 months for harvesting, right? In India, most of the time the harvesting is done manually using a sickle. Apart from that, this harvesting can also be done using machines like called as harvester. And you know that, so this grains which are separated from the chaff is done by threshing machine. It's called as threshing. The grains which are present in the crop, the paddy which has the grains in the grain seeds, the seed has to be separated right from the husk. So this method of separating the seed from the husk is said to be threshing, and this threshing is usually done by a machine called thresher. Actually, it is a harvester is a combined machine where they harvest, that means they cut the crop and thresh it, and threshing is also done. That means the seed is separated from the grain. And farmers who have only small piece of land as their belonging, they cannot afford buying these thresher machines or harvesters, right? So what do? As they have only small piece of land, they do it manually by winnowing. You might have seen this winnowing where they take this bunch of dry hay or harvested cereal and they bang it over the floor so that the grains and seeds and husk are separated. And do you know, actually this harvesting season or the time of harvest is usually celebrated as festival. The Pongal is nothing but harvesting time. It is a festival of harvesting, right? So what do? The men, women, everyone, they celebrate or they enjoy this harvest time as a festival in our country. And you see that just like your Diwali, Dasara, they also celebrate the time of harvest as a festival. It is Bihu in few places and Baisakhi in few places. It is called as Bihu in some of the place and Baisakhi in some of the place, which is actually said to be a harvest festival. So every farmer enjoys his harvest because he is being given with a good amount of crop or good amount of yield. So now we have seen this harvesting, that a thresher is used to separate a seed from the grain, and at the same time harvester is used to cut the crop. Now the major concern is, now we have finished everything. You have started right from tilling the soil till the harvesting, and the next part what you have to do is the storage. Storage is the important thing during the process of agricultural practices. So we know that after the harvest, the crop is actually, the seeds are wet, or seeds are moist, and when you don't dry them properly and then store them in the bins, definitely they get damaged. So that means your work will definitely go in vain. The farmer efforts will go in vain if he doesn't store the grains properly. So the storage also is one of the important thing. Usually we see your mother might have stored the seeds, that is food grains, with dried neem leaves, right? Neem leaves. Why do they add dry neem leaves to this food grains? So that they are not attacked by any of the pests or small insects. So to protect the crop field, they have to be stored properly. The major problem comes with the storage, where these grains can be eaten away by rats, can be attacked by insects or bacteria or fungi. So if you don't store them properly, as I've told you, if the grain which is wet or moist is stored like that into the bins, then it will definitely be affected by bacteria or fungi, or rats eat away and then insects come dwell in. So this will all definitely reduce the economy of a farmer if he doesn't store it properly. So usually the grains are dried in hot sun before they are stored in the storage bins. If you have a very less number of grains to be stored, you can generally store it in small, but when it is in huge amounts, they are actually stored in granaries or silos and granaries. So the silos and granaries are the places where huge amount of seeds are stored. Like in bulk, the seeds are stored, and they are protected from the rodents, they are protected from the insects, they are protected from the attack of bacteria and fungi, so that the seeds are stored properly for the future use. So you can, as I've told you, you can also add dry neem leaves for protecting your seeds from pests. So this is how the protection of the seed to be done. As I've told you, As we have been learning throughout this lesson, we have seen that the tilling of the soil till the storage, there are various steps which are involved, and where we need to take utmost care to grow the crop. In the same way, when you have a pet at home, you need to take utmost care. When you have a cattle at home, you need to take utmost care right from the birth of the cattle until it starts producing young ones, right? So, and this method is said to be, that is taking care of these pets and other cattle at home, is said to be animal husbandry. We know that the proper food should be provided and shelter, and they should be protected from the diseases. So, all these are the steps which are involved in case of animal husbandry. So this is what you have learned throughout the lesson, like what are the different agricultural practices and how the farmer takes up the pain to cultivate a small piece of land to produce the food, and we are the people who keep wasting the food. So please do not waste the food. If you feel the food is in excess, please give it to someone who can actually eat it, but don't throw it out.